Carnaval, part 2. Hi everybody, welcome back to So You Wanna Live in Bahia. My name is Kitty and I'm a gringa living here in Salvador, Bahia, Brazil for 11 years. And I'm a licensed real estate agent. And I have been to at least 9 carnivals. We have unfortunately had 2 years where we didn't have carnival, so this carnival coming up is very exciting because it's been nearly 3 years since we've had one. So hopefully you've seen part 1. Please click wherever and watch part 1 if you haven't. It gives more of the history of carnival. And here are more of the logistics you need to know about coming here to Salvador for carnival. So as I mentioned in the last video, this is, as we're told, the biggest street party in the world, the one in Salvador, Bahia. Because unlike the other ones, like in Rio, where you are actually witnessing people dance and you're witnessing the processions, here you're actually part of the party. You're in the streets and you're dancing and it's fun and it's crazy. And you may or may not be hungover for most or all of it. Heads up there on that. But I want to go over some of the things you should do before you get here and then do when you're here. First off, lodgings. So it's the most expensive time of the year to rent an apartment here. And so you should really figure that out sooner than later, especially if you're a large group. Now the way it normally goes is the reasonably priced apartments will go first. So if you wait like November, December, you might really get screwed over on price. Everything's gonna be really expensive. But if you wanted to rent something by chance 1 or 2 weeks before Carnaval, then you might actually get a good deal, because the people who held out for too much money, sometimes they will bargain basement prices, sometimes. You never know with how things go with Carnaval. Some years are different than others, and this year for sure I think is sold out quickly because we've gone nearly 3 years without Carnaval. So while you're here, you're gonna wanna do 3 different things. There's 3 different ways basically to participate in Carnaval. And that is to do it on the street where you're pipoca. And as I explained before, pipoca is popcorn. And so we see everyone on the street jumping up and down like it kind of looks like popcorn. And so that's the cheapest way to do Carnaval. And I mostly just do pipoca because it's free. There's pipoca. The second option would be to pay for camarote. This is a nice option, and I'm going to show you this site right here. You can go on this site and you can buy tickets for the different camarotes and also for the different blocos. I'll go over blocos in a second. The camarote is where you're a floor or so, 2 floors above the party. You're super safe. Usually with a camarote, depending on the price, all the drinks and food are included. And some of the more expensive ones, you can get your hair done, or you can get your abada fixed up, where they put like fitas, the bonfim fitas on your abada. And so, but you pay a lot of money for these ones. There are cheaper camarotes, but that's something you're only going to be able to figure out while you're here. It used to be that you can go on Groupon or the Brazilian version of Groupon, Peixe Urbano, to buy tickets for the cheaper camarotes, but those sites don't exist anymore. And I don't think that anything has come in to replace them. I don't think that Groupon thing, in general, I think it's not as popular as it had been 10 years ago. So the third option you have is a bloco. Now this one is really, it's like 4 hours on your feet dancing. I don't know, I haven't done one in ages because it's tiresome. It is. And also, I mean, it helps to really like the band. With the camarote and with the bloco, your ticket of admission is an abada. This is actually an abada I designed back in the US for my friend Conceição Damasceno. Rest in peace. This might be corny, but I would like to dedicate this episode to her, because if it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be here. And she was family, and she was a beautiful dancer and really an important part of the Brazilian community in the Bay Area. And so she's a great person, and she's sorely missed. Anyhow, but to keep it back on track. So the abada, you want to cut them up. This one, I cut it up, it's horrible. I would say pay to have someone do it. All over Baja, you'll see people who will cut your abadas up for you, and you can choose different styles. They'll have other ones there, you know, like I want this style, and they sew it up for you. And otherwise, you're just gonna be wearing a really big t-shirt that's not flattering. So that's a very common thing for all the ladies to do. Even the guys might do it. You can get it where you get just the sleeves cut off and it's more of a reasonable tank that's also maybe form-fitting and not so big. Definitely you want to get your abadas fixed because you're going to need those for the bloco and the camarote. For pipoca, no. Now while you're planning all this, there's some of the stuff I said before you can do before you get here. As of this recording, I don't have the programming for Carnaval. It's not come out yet, but it's something that you can go online and check out closer to the date, and that's good for you to know where you want to be, what bands you want to check out. For me, I would recommend, if you're here in Baja Angina, which is the most popular circuit for Carnaval, then you can stay here every day, and that's super cool and that's amazing, and do it. But if you wanted to see more, some of the more African blocos are in Campo Grande, although you still can see them, like Olodum does Sunday in Baja, and so you can still see some of them in Baja, but the concentration of them is those blocos, the African blocos, is in Campo Grande. The problem with Campo Grande is there's not as much space to be pipoca. Here when I'm pipoca in the Baja Angina circuit, I usually do it right by the lighthouse, the farol, and I like it there. Because from there, I think like every 20 minutes, every 30 minutes, a band is leaving. Whereas if you're in Angina, it takes a long time for the bands to come through, and it could be that you see one band and an hour later you see another. So you'll see more bands at the beginning, and also it's just nice there. Farol de Baja, the lighthouse, lots of wind there, so it's a nice place to check it out. And there's a lot of space as well. All right. I feel like I have so much to say. I hope I'm organized enough in my thoughts here. But I do recommend going to the different places. Campo Grande for the African blocos. Baja Angina has lots of great music. And then also I really like Pelourinho. Pelourinho has more little shows and all the different venues, and it's all free, and they have a lot of cultural stuff. I've seen groups with indigenous groups with all the beautiful feathers and stuff, and the big heads that they have in Recife for Carnaval. And it's definitely more of a cultural, old-timey Carnaval. And also if by chance you're here with kids, then that's a really great place to enjoy Carnaval. Kids love it there. One more thing for Carnaval, yeah, just go crazy, man. Do crazy makeup, you know, wear silly hats if you want. Go nuts, you know, it's your time to like not be normal, right? And so do it, go nuts. That's the most experimental I ever get with my makeup is during Carnaval. So I suggest it. Last but not least, and this is actually the very, very most important thing that you need to know, is be careful. Be super duper careful, okay? Don't wear any necklaces, none. I had a friend who was robbed a necklace she made, and she made it herself. I think it was just beads. It didn't even look like gold. Like these earrings, I wouldn't wear these earrings for Carnaval. Just don't wear anything that can be snatched off your body, okay? Don't. No fancy watches. If you take your phone out to take a photo or whatever, be really careful. Be very aware of your phone. And one thing that you're gonna see everyone selling here are these, like, it's not really a fanny pack. It's meant to go underneath your clothes. Buy one of these and always keep it underneath your clothes. You know, it's got a little zipper and everything's safe, okay? Because it's a real problem, all the pickpockets. Carnival is a time of year that people come from all over the state and the city of Salvador, the state of Bahia, to make some money. Lots of people make money during Carnival. And you'll see that some of the people, lots of street vendors on the street selling beer mostly, sometimes, and food, and you'll see them with tents. They sleep, they're reserving their spot to sell their stuff, and they have a tent, they just sleep there, and that's the whole time they're there just to make money. But then other people come here just to steal. and I screwed up. I had a nameplate necklace on. It wasn't real gold, and it got robbed off of me. So avoid it. Avoid it at all costs, you know? Make sure you don't lose your keys. Just try to be as safe and as responsible as possible, all right? But really, I can't stress it enough. Be safe. Be careful. Don't be flashing money around, okay? Anyhow, once again, I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for tuning in. Like the video if you liked it, and don't forget to subscribe as well. And if you're interested in renting or buying here, don't forget to contact me. Thanks again. I'll see you next time. Beijos!